Council meeting for the city of Utica, Tuesday, May 13th, 2025. I'm going to make an exception tonight. I've never asked the same person to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance 2 meetings in a row, but we have our esteemed former Mayor Pro Tem in the audience tonight. So, Ken Sikora, will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. Madam Clerk, will you call roll, please?
Terenzi. Here. O'Donnell.
Here.
Deanne. Backus.
Here.
Weaver.
Here.
Mayor Calendino.
Here, one absent, but we do have a quorum. Tonight is a special night for another reason. We have a occasion that we love to have from time to time. Chief Kaluzny is going to lead us in a swearing in of one of our new patrol officers. Thank you, Mayor.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This, like the Mayor said, is one of the enjoyable parts of being a police chief, is welcoming new officers to the profession and new officers here to the city of Utica. It truly is an honor. So today I'd like to officially welcome Officer Chase Kirkwood to the Utica Police Department. Or Chance Kirkwood. I'm going to do that many times, so I apologize, Chance. Chance is a graduate of Henry Ford High School and lived in Sterling Heights most of his life, but we won't hold that against him, even though he's on the other side of the street over there. But upon completing high school, Chance went on to Lake Michigan College, where he did play baseball for a year over there. He earned his associate's degree in science and decided to make a career change. He was kind of looking at becoming a nurse and decided, you know what, I like helping people, I like being involved right there in the emergencies. Let me take the police side. It's a little bit more fun and a little bit more rewarding over here, so we're glad he made that change. Chance put himself through the police academy and learned about our department actually through one of our officers who's here, one of his friends, and kind of was building up our department. So it's really nice to have internal people bring qualified candidates. And one of the nice things is I also teach at the police academy. I got to know Chance over there for a couple days, and it's really see he's just a hardworking person, wants to learn, just takes everything in a sponge, and we're really looking forward to bringing him here in our department. Chance is joined here by his parents, Darcy and Rick, and he also has 2 sisters. When Chance isn't working, he enjoys golf, going to the gym, and collecting sports cards. We look forward to welcoming Chance to our department and our community here in the city of Utica. Officer Chance Kirkwood, could you please come up front, meet the mayor with your mother, Darcy, and be formally sworn in and have your badge pinned.
If you could raise your right hand. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
or affirm
or affirm
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of this state,
the Constitution of this state,
the Charter for the City of Utica,
the Charter of the City of Utica,
the rules and regulations,
the rules and regulations,
policies and procedures,
policies and procedures,
and the general orders
and the general orders
of the Utica Police Department,
of the Utica Police Department,
and that I will faithfully discharge
that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of police officer
the duties of police officer
for the City of Utica,
for the City of Utica,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
And Mom Darcy?
Oh, they got the Velcro version.
Thank God, because I was worried.
Congratulations.
Happy to have you.
Thank you.
And I'm going to give this to you right now.
Thank you. Perfect. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. And we thank all the family and friends that came tonight. I can see you're already bolting for the door.
Well, you said we really weren't welcome here. Sterling Heights.
We do have several public hearings this evening, so I would be looking for a motion to enter into public hearings.
Support.
Motion by Terenzi, support by O'Donnell. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Torenzi?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deanne? Backus?
Yes.
Weaver?
Yes.
Mayor Calendino?
Yes, motion carries. We are now in public hearings. First public hearing tonight is a variance request for 45411 Park Avenue pylon sign. Is the petitioner here? You could just give us an explanation, and then we'll open it to the floor to the public.
How you doing? Marvin Kesey, 3664 Piccadilly Drive, Rochester Hills, Michigan. I'm here for a variance request to get a pylon sign at a new business located at 45411 Park Ave on right down the street from Utica Park Boulevard. Went to planning last week and we discussed the signage, and I'm just here to see if I can get the variance for the sign. I'm asking for a digital sign larger than what the city ordinance allows. We're a business that's tucked away back by Dave & Buster's. The signage is not going to be on any major roadways of Utica. It's not on Van Dyke. It's not on Hall Road. It's going to be adjacent to the common areas of where M53, the on-ramp is going. So it's not really going to be off a busy, high-traffic, regular roadway in the city.
And I believe your request was recommended by our planner, Stephen Casson, with some small changes.
I haven't seen those changes,
Yeah.
but I know that planning had said, we have to make some things a little bit smaller, and then we have to obviously make sure it's engineered properly with the wind load and stuff. Do you have a copy of what the changes were?
Yeah, we do.
You do? Okay.
We'll get you a copy.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else?
That's all.
All right, is there anyone from the public? This is a public hearing. Anyone from the public that would like to comment? Thank you, Mr. Kesey.
Thank you.
The next public hearing is for fireworks sales 45101 Shaner. Is the petitioner here?
Yes.
If you could give us your name and address, please, sir.
Michael Canacri, address is 47816 Shelby, in Shelby, Dario Drive in Shelby Township.
Yes. Hi, sir, if you could explain what you're doing, what you're petitioning for tonight?
Petitioning for, to get a permit to sell fireworks by the Kentucky Fried Chicken. We've been there the last few years. Not really asking for any variances. We've got the license from the state of Michigan already, and we got approved in front of the last board last week before you. And then this was this final destination of what we needed to do to get the license. We set up every year. I got about 5 locations, and never had ever had a problem with any location as far as disobeying the law. And the state of Michigan says I have one of the top couple places that is 100% inside a tent fire blockage all the way around for things that blow up in the air on stuff that doesn't need it. But we cover the whole place. We put a lot into it. And our hours are like from 9 o'clock till 9 at night or 10 at night. I forget what it was. We have a guard there every night, and it's lit up at night so nobody can come in there and, give us a hard time or do anything that's going to hurt anybody. Safety's the number one thing, and that's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. As this is a public hearing, is there anyone in the public that would like to speak to this issue? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
You're all set.
Thank you.
Next public hearing is for fireworks sales and temporary tent, 44800 Van Dyke Avenue. Is the petitioner here?
I'm Emilio Smoro, Petitioner to open up a temporary firework tent on 44800 Van Dyke Avenue. We were here last year. The only variance would be a change in the size of the signage, although that was already discussed on the planning meeting, as well as prior to that with the city. We were there last year, and we didn't have any problems as far as following the law, anything like that. And once again, like he said, safety is a #1 concern here. So that would be all for me.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the public that would like to speak to this issue? No. Time to vote. We'll deliberate. Thank you, sir. And our last item for public hearing tonight is fireworks sales and temporary tent, 13277 Hall Road. Is that petitioner here tonight?
Good evening, everybody. I'm petitioning to put a fireworks tent at the same location I have for about, 20 years, I guess. I did move the location a little bit from where the tent was to one corner. The tent's over approximately one tent size, attached like where the other corner was, because I wanted to move it up. There was a drain running through where the water ran through the parking lot, and it was rushing through my tent. So we moved it a little bit over, and then other than that, everything is the same.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Is there anyone in the public that would like to speak on this item? As there is not, I would be looking for a motion to close all public hearings.
So moved.
Support.
Motion by Terenzi, support by O'Donnell. Any discussion from council? Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Torenzi?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deanne? Backus?
Yes.
Weaver?
Yes.
Mayor Calendino?
Yes, motion carries. Thank you, everyone. This time in the agenda, we open the floor for public comments for any item that is listed on the agenda. Obviously, you've just had an opportunity to speak on the public hearing, so we would expect that that has already been taken care of. So any other items on the agenda? Is there anyone that would like to speak to anything? All right. Next, I'd be looking for a motion to approve all items in consent.
So moved.
Support.
Motion by Terenzi, support by Weaver. Any discussion from council? Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Torenzi?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deanne? Backus?
Yes.
Weaver?
Yes.
Mayor Calendino?
Yes, motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Next on the agenda, unfinished business. We do have an item on the agenda that we had to postpone last month, earned sick time policy. And who will be leading us in that discussion?
I can lead on that. Actually, there is new legislation out there for the earned sick time that requires policy adaptation. This is essentially the same policy that we have adopted in neighboring communities drafted by a labor attorney. So I am asking as city attorney that this be adopted, not necessarily because you like it, but because it follows the state law and you're obligated to adopt it.
Thank you. So we would be looking for a motion to approve the Earned Sick Time Act policy.
I'll make a motion to approve the earned act sickness policy.
Motion by
Support.
Terenzi, support by Backus. Any discussion from council? Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Is there a
Torenzi?
second?
Oh,
Yeah, Backus.
Oh, I didn't hear that. Okay. Thank you,
Torenzi?
sorry.
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deanne? Backus?
Yes.
Weaver?
Yes.
Mayor Calendino?
Yes, motion carries. Thank you, everyone. We have no correspondence this evening under new business. Gasoline Alley. I believe we have Ms. Pro here tonight.
I'm Jean Pro from Utica Alliance, and I'm just asking to have permission for the gasoline alley. It's supposed to be on August 9th, and hopefully with no rain, and but it's going to be the same as last year, so I don't think there's any change. But for those who are new on the council, I did want to let you know that this event, as per se, is not a moneymaker for the Lions Club. By the time we pay our bills, which are police, fire, DPW, Porta Johns, DJ and other things that we have, fees that we have to pay, it's just pretty much a wash. So it's a wonderful event, and it brings a lot of people into town, but it's not a money-making for us. As a club, we make our money through sponsors, which we get from this local area and the surrounding area. We also make money from our sales, the food tent, the T-shirts, on the 50/50. As you know, in the past, or if you've been here, you know that 2 years ago, we gave to the Beckett family approximately over $30,000. Last year, it was $18,000, which went to the victims of the shooting at the pond. So what we're going to do this year, we're not sure. I haven't heard from the chairs, so I couldn't tell you. But we always, whatever we make goes right back to the community. So our budget is very slim by the time we get through. But anyway, but thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Pro. So we're looking for two motions tonight. First motion is motion to approve the City of Utica and Utica Lions hosting the 2025 Gasoline Alley Car Show on Saturday, August 9th, 2025 on Auburn Road.
I will make that motion.
Motion by Terenzi.
Support.
Support by O'Donnell. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Terenzi?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deanne? Backus?
Yes.
Weaver?
Yes.
Mayor Calendino?
Yes, motion carries. And the second motion is to approve closing Auburn Road from Utica Library driveway to Cass Avenue from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturday, August 9th, 2025.
So moved.
Motion by Terenzi,
Support.
support by Backus. Discussion from council. Chief, do we see any issues?
No, we don't have any issues. It's always,
We're going to have our brand-new maybe
I
medium
hope so. Yep, hopefully have them by then.
barriers.
So-
That'd be awesome. Chief Wilczek, any concerns?
Not a problem.
Any further discussion from council?
No,
No?
I just think it's a wonderful event, and please come out and support the Lions because they do such good work. The Lions were the first service agency in the country back in 1924. We were the very first ones, and we're still doing good work, so please support the Lions.
And Councilwoman Terenzi, by support the work, you of course mean come to downtown Utica August 9th at 10 a.m.?
Oh, earlier.
8 o'clock.
7 a.m.
Seven.
They do a wonderful breakfast in the fire
That's right.
driveway.
That's right.
Also, on your, in front of you, we placed notices about our pancake breakfast, which is on the 22nd of June, as you can see. We left a few up here for those who are interested. It's Sunday morning, and it starts at 8 o'clock, and it goes till noon. And it's pancakes, donation only. Or if you don't want to pay, you don't have to. It's just up to you. But it's so that the community knows, again, that we're here and that we like you. Thank you.
But we still need to vote.
Thank you.
Yes, sorry, Terenzi and Backus, sorry. Terenzi?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deanne? Backus?
Yes.
Weaver?
Yes.
Mayor Calendino?
Yes, motion carries. Congratulations. Look forward to walking up and down Auburn all day selling raffle tickets for
You
you.
do such a good job. I like that. Thank you so much.
Please come on the 22nd of June, too.
Okay, hope to see all of you there.
Always good to see you, Gene. Take care. All right, next on the agenda is the variance request for 45411 Park Avenue Bodega, sign variance request. We just got out of public hearing for that. Yeah, sure. Council, do you have any questions for Mr. Kesey tonight?
I'd just like to know exactly where it's going to be located.
It would be on the southwest corner of the property, kind of where, where Dave & Buster's and that parcel kind of meet each other.
Okay.
So northwest corner of the property, yeah. So it's not going to be close to the hotel. It's not going to be close to any buildings. It's going to be pretty much almost behind my building in that grass corridor between Dave & Buster's and my parcel. Yeah.
And you'll be able to see it from M53 then?
You should be able to see it from 53 and maybe the 59 overpass. That's my goal, because when you're in that area over there, you're dealing with a lot of different pitches. The on-ramp has a down pitch. The 53 traffic, you can't really see because there's so many trees over there. So they can't see the sign until you get to the back of my property line. And then southbound traffic on 53, that's kind of where like the on-ramp goes to get into Utica and then traveling southbound. So that's the most ideal area for the digital sign.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not interfering with any residents. There's, that location there, I would say, is around 1,300 feet away from the entrance off of Utica Park Boulevard. And we're surrounded by hotels. We have the Hyatt Place, the La Quinta, Dave & Buster's is a tall building. Holiday Inn kind of blocks it off. So to get visibility from Utica Park Boulevard, it's kind of tough. I read the comments, actually. I pulled up the packet. And it does seem like it's excessive because the way he wrote the percentages. But being a failing business that's always been back there, I think that it's necessary that we get the right signage there to bring some attention to make sure that we're successful. I know I brought up in planning, Dave & Buster's has had a lot of schools that, they told me have been backing out of doing their programs and stuff like that. And, the economy's not that great right now. So for us to kind of do something nice back there, get some attention, get some traffic flow, I think it'd help the surrounding businesses in that area.
And I'm looking at the planning agreement, and they're saying to recommend a variant sign to a maximum of 200 square feet, with the digital portion to be 50% or less.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It's, they said not to exceed 10 by 10 on either one. I mean, they said you can go however wide you want, but with the wind loads and stuff like that, we're going to shrink it down on the width and just play with the height. And we'll submit that over for approval to the city when we get the engineering drawings done and, the wind bracing and all of that stuff.
All right. Well, let's get a motion on the floor, and then we can continue to deliberate if we need to. So we'd be looking for a motion to approve the variances as requested.
I will make that recommendation that we approve the variances as
As
requested.
requested or as approved by planning?
Or I'm sorry,
No,
I need to fix that.
as,
To approve the variances as recommended
As
by
recommended
by-
our planner, Stephen Castle.
so moved.
Motion by Terenzi. Support. Support by Backus. Now we can deliberate. If we have any questions for Mr. Kesey or any questions for ourselves.
So we're going from, pardon me, Mr. Mayor, we're going from 268 square feet down to 200.
That's right.
That's still 4 times bigger.
It's 3 times bigger, 3 times larger than the original size.
Well, the requested variance, surface signature area from 50 square feet, so you have 50 square feet.
Yeah, I understand.
Is the limit. 30 square feet just for the electronic messaging component, but you want 90 square feet. Is that changing?
What are the final dimensions on the digital messaging?
They agreed that they'd give me 200 square feet, and it would be 100 square foot for each portion. 100 as a regular sign and 100 as a digital messaging sign. And I know all the rules. I'm sorry.
I'll tell you what I would do. If I were one of the businesses that were back there and I saw that they're getting a sign 4 times bigger than what anybody else back there gets, I'd come to council and I'd say, I want my sign to be 4 times bigger. than
Their sign
50
is
square
bigger.
feet.
They're welcome to.
Dave & Buster's sign is 15 by 15. That's 300 square feet. And they have 2 of them. Hyatt Palace has 4 signs on their building, and they have a monument sign. Applebee's has a overly large pylon sign there, and they have a monument sign. They have multiple signs on their building.
So even in this scenario, what we're saying is that what's good for the gander is not good for the goose, right? We have rules. Sounds like we're not paying attention to the law for any of the businesses back there.
That's why there's a variance.
Yeah, that's why he's asking for a variance.
I'm here requesting a
Right,
variance.
But my point is why do we have why do we have these rules in the books if we just
I'm sure all these
Well, the
businesses had a
rules to allow
variance too.
variances are also in the books, and I think,
yeah, but it's supposed to be an extenuating circumstance. I can't, people can't see my sign from 2 roads over is not really an extenuating circumstance.
Well, I think his location, where he's not on Hall Road, he's not on Shaner, he's, the closest roadway to him is M53. I think that plays into his request, I would guess.
I mean, I'd like to ask, how does Jimmy John's have a 10-foot by 20-foot sign, and it's marketing Huntington Bank and Jarbco, and it's on the city's property, and they're revenuing money?
It's a
But
great
I
question.
can't, as an operating business owner that pays over $100,000 in property taxes in the city, not be able to get a variance for a sign to increase business in an area where a business has failed 3 times.
I mean, okay, great points, but that doesn't change the fact that, okay, maybe Jimmy John's is breaking the rules, and by maybe, I
I'm not
mean,
saying
I
they're
know for a
breaking the
fact they
rules.
are, but I'm not really sure, you know, when you, honestly, I'm surprised this even made it through planning. You know, a variance is supposed to be an extenuating circumstance, a special circumstance. I don't think this is particularly special.
It made it through with a unanimous vote, too.
I think if, all right, yeah.
Thank
That's
you,
all.
Councilman Dunn.
Thank you, Mayor.
Any further deliberation? Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Torenzi?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
No.
Deanne Backus?
Yes.
Weaver?
Yes.
Mayor Calendino?
Yes, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next on the agenda is fireworks sales and temporary tent 45101 Shaner. We had no comments from the public. Does council have any questions for the gentleman tonight?
You had said
I'm sorry, go ahead.
you had said you had other locations. Where are they at?
One on Grossbeck and Masonic and Fraser. 3 of them in Warren, one on 13 and Mound, where I own a garden center, outdoor garden center. I've been there 30 years. One on Hoover and 13 Mile Road. One on 13 and DeQuindra, and one on 12 and a half and Woodward, where I also own a garden center on Woodward Avenue.
So what do you think these businesses like yours, these tent fireworks sales, how do you think can you explain to me how they enhance our city?
How they advance your city? Well, that's a very good question. They advance because 80% of the people, I believe, buy fireworks for those couple of days. We're there, we come in, we leave, do a good job, there's no trouble. And we've never, ever, ever had a problem, ever in one city we've been to. And I live right across the street from your city, right here in Shelby. And they're going to buy, it's just a holiday. I mean, it's nothing, I don't know how it would advance your city. I mean,
Well, here's what I think. You don't pay property taxes to the city of Utica for having these sales take place. It puts a strain on our fire department and our police department. Our fire department's paid on call. If you do have an incident, which God forbid you do, but if you do, my taxpayers are gonna be paying to take care of that incident.
We're insured, I think it's what, $10 million that we have to have insurance through the state of Michigan. And we have approval from all of them. They've inspected.
So is your insurance policy gonna reimburse this city for
I'm sure
a fire incident?
I'm 100% sure. Would you know? Would you know?
I honestly do not know, I'm sorry.
So
You should be adding the city as an additional insured if you don't already.
I think they are. I can find out in about 3 minutes and call my son. But I believe that the city should be added on because in the city of Fraser, we are added on. They are added on to it. So you're absolutely right. It should be added on to the policy. It's a $10 million policy that is required by the state of Michigan. So it's not easy going through the ropes to get this far. And,
And my final point is, this council, the council previous to this one, we have worked hard
no, I
to
agree.
attract and stimulate quality businesses, quality property owners to our city. I don't think having tent sales on our main thoroughfares contributes to attracting Class A property owners and tenants. So it's just hard for me to understand what benefit my taxpayers and my residents and the neighboring businesses get for this. Agreed, the property owner's gonna get, what, $5,000 from you, so you can lease his spot, but that's it.
Well,
There's no other benefit to the city that I can see.
the people that buy them are from your city. If they don't buy them on this city, they're gonna go across the street to Sterling Heights.
And that's okay.
So, and there's never been a problem here, so.
Cities that are really striving to develop and stimulate growth, like Birmingham, Royal Oak, how many tents do you have set up in those cities?
I have one set in Royal Oak, right at 12 and a half on Woodward, right across the street from the cemetery. Been there 15 years. I never ever a problem. And we do a first-class operation. We come in there, and we have security, and we never, ever, ever, and they send officers out, the state does, and your officers probably know that. They send younger kids out to see if they would buy or we would sell it to them. We've never, ever, ever had a problem at all, ever. Everything's been by the law, and that's all I can say.
Does anyone else have any questions before we get a motion?
You know, I had one question, and I kind of worked it out. You are on Shaner.
Yes.
By the
and you-
KFC.
By the KFC, and you are on Hall Road?
It's
So
the
you kind of
address
like,
is classified Hall Road because it's the building and the way it's facing.
Okay.
It's like an extended address. I've been there for 20 years. I'm in the middle of the parking lot.
Well, let's
That's
keep
what I
it to,
thought you
let's
were
keep
part
it
of
to him.
well, I was
He's not
trying
at
to
the mic.
compare where the two were, so that's all.
Thank you.
One other question, our sign ordinance or the maximum temporary signage is 12 square feet. I don't think I see anything in your.
No, that's fine. We're good with that.
Mayor, they requested 3 12-by-3 banners is what they were requesting.
That goes way over the 12 square feet.
It does. They would need council approval to exceed the 12 square feet.
And that's not on the,
It's on Amanda's plan review.
I'm willing to withdraw that. I didn't know that it was in there, to tell you the truth.
well, I'm going to make the motion just so we can continue deliberation. A motion to approve fireworks sales in temporary tent from June 15th through July 14th at 45101
Excuse me,
Shaner.
July 4th, not 14th.
Oh, okay.
Okay, it does say July 14th here. Motion to approve fireworks sales and temporary tent from June 15th through July 4th at 45101 Shaner, pending proper permits from the building department, adding the city of Utica as an additional insured on your insurance policy, and following our temporary sign ordinance, which allows you 12 square feet.
Yes, Your Honor.
So I've made the motion.
Support.
Support by Terenzi.
Support.
And we're open for discussion and deliberation.
I think the question with all due respect, Mr. Mayor, I think the question it's going to sound not respectful, but, in a free country, the question really shouldn't be what do people do for the government? Like, it's not so much what does it do for Utica, but how does it detract? So I think you made good points in that it, utilizes resources potentially. The 10 million insurance is a good, insurance. But I think to me, the question really boils down to, what are the drawbacks, right? Now, there are risks to everything. Of course, there's risk to leaving your house. But I don't necessarily think we should have a barometer of, hey, what are you doing for us when, this is America, right?
Every other business doesn't get to choose. I mean,
Well, what's
every other
the-
business is required to get a business license, to pay property tax.
What's the permit fee for temporary?
There
tent?
is no permit fee, it's a tent. They
Oh.
pay for a tent fee, that's it.
What's that?
$125.
$125.
$75 for the admin.
And his insurance policy is not gonna pay for all the extra police patrols that we have to send to all these different facilities either.
Well, I mean, I think the answer is right that, hey, what are they doing for Utica, maybe to mitigate our risk? Maybe, I think you said $125. Maybe it's not enough.
Let's get, yeah, that's
Yeah,
a
I believe
discussion for
we-
another day.
Yeah, that's, the state mandates what the city can and cannot do in those situations.
I'd also like to add, we did mention being added onto the insurance. Can we have that also
That was on the
with the
motion.
approval? It is on the?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that it, Councilman O'Donnell?
Yes, thank you, Mayor.
Any further deliberation? Yeah, sure.
So legal.
But I think you gotta speak to the mic.
You are correct, I was forgetting to do that. Legally speaking, we had this issue arise maybe 5+ years ago. And at that time, it was unlawful for the city to vote no on the tent sale, and the city did get sued for it. And we immediately settled that lawsuit and allowed the tent sale. That law has since changed. Tent sales are allowed to be banned, but only if an ordinance is adopted. We have not adopted an ordinance yet. That is under discussion currently. It is something that would fall under the zoning ordinance, so it would go before planning first with a public hearing, and then be back before this council after planning takes its action on it.
May I say something?
You may not.
For this year, you're right, the landlord does get $5,000, he does. But I'm willing to donate $5,000 to abuse, whatever you people choose, abuse kids, mothers, anybody that you feel that, your board would like to donate to a good cause. So I'm willing to do that.
We're trading on dangerous waters of quid pro quo there. I appreciate the gesture. I would encourage you on your own, without having to enter in any agreement with us, to donate whatever amount you would like to our wonderful Utica Lions Club, because they do a lot for our residents.
Yeah, that lady's super.
But we really can't
She's
enter into
super.
that kind of arrangement with
Yeah.
you tonight. Thank you.
But for this year, I don't know if you're gonna pass an ordinance or not, but we have a lot invested in it. We have our orders already made. I got a couple of kids in college myself right now, and I'm working on 20% of my heart. I'm waiting for a heart transplant still. And take 23 pills a day to live. So we need this as a family. I'm just bringing that up to you. That's it. And I thank
Appreciate
you.
your comments today, sir. Any further discussion? Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Torenzi?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deanne Backus?
Yes.
Weaver?
Yes.
Mayor Calendino?
Yes. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is temporary tent with fireworks sales 44800 Van Dyke. Any questions for the gentleman tonight? I've already said my spiel. I don't need to say it 3 times. Just for full transparency, I'm going to be hoping that our council moves in a direction and we do adopt an ordinance. I don't see a benefit to our taxpayers. I don't see a benefit to our residents. And I certainly don't see a benefit to helping make our city thrive and stimulate growth in our city. So
Would that-
to keep our, let me finish.
Yep.
So to keep our residents from having to pay unnecessary legal expenses, I'm reluctantly voting yes on all 3 of these tonight, but hopefully we can get something in place for next year. Any questions for the gentleman? All right, we would be looking for, I do need to ask about his signage.
Mayor, they're requesting 2 5x7 signs.
which is,
35 square feet.
yeah, far in excess. Would you be willing to reduce that to be within our temporary sign ordinance of 12 square feet?
Unfortunately, 12 square feet just won't be enough. It's barely visible, especially since I'm hoping for it to be seen on the Hall Road, going east. And, just 12 square feet, unfortunately, won't cut it. And same on the Van Dyke side, I would need a bit of a bigger sign just for people to see it. But if 5 by 7 is too much, I am willing to, shave it down, a couple of feet to make it more agreeable, I guess.
Sir, I will be voting no if you cannot obey our temporary sign ordinance.
Okay. Well, I mean, I did pay the permit to get the signs. If there's any
I've already told
variance,
you my
I could
opinion,
ask
sir.
for it. So 12 feet, no way?
Not if you want a yes from me. There's 5 other members up here that get to vote their conscience.
May I hear from the other council members?
That's not how those.
That's not how it
I'm
works.
sorry, first time, I'm sorry about that.
So I'm going to make a motion to approve fireworks sales and temporary tent from June 23rd through July 6, 2025 at 44800 Van Dyke, pending proper permits from the building department, adding the city of Utica as a name insured, and their adherence to our temporary sign ordinance, which only allows a 12 square foot sign. Looking for support?
Support.
Support by O'Donnell. Any discussion from council? Any deliberation? Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Torenzi?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deanne Backus?
Yes.
Weaver?
Yes.
Mayor Calendino?
Yes, motion carries. Just so you understand, you've been approved, but your signage needs to be within 12 square feet. If it's not, we're going to have problems.
Understood.
Very good. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
And finally, fireworks sales and temporary tent, 13277 Hall Road.
Good evening again. I'd like to add to this. I've been doing this for a long time. And in some ways, all right, you're mistaken. We pay every dollar that is sold. We pay a 6% fire safety fee. And everybody that does fireworks pays that money. And that money is distributed to the cities to help cover expenses that you have. I automatically add the city of Utica to my insurance to where you're covered if there's anything happens. I automatically do it. But there is money that comes into the city, 100% from the state. That's why it was set up. That's why the law was passed, so you guys could benefit from it, because it is, like you said, you don't believe it's good for the community. So the state set that up to justify changing the law to do basically 1.4 consumer fireworks, things that go in the air. Because it used to be just fountains, and those are considered safe and sane, there's no need for a fireworks permit. There never was. So the law changed to basically to include that for the cities, so the cities would capitalize on the money.
Thank you, sir. Any questions for Mr. Johnson tonight? So we would be, what is your signage, sir?
The same signs I put up, I got a banner that I attached to the tent, and I think my banner is like
20 by 3 is what I see.
Yeah, 3 by 20.
That's not going to fly.
I understand.
So I'd be looking for a motion to approve fireworks sales and temporary tent from June 24th to June 6th at 13277 Hall Road, pending proper permits from the building department, adding the city of Utica to the additional insured, and adherence to our temporary sign ordinance.
Support.
That was actually, he was asking for a motion, so we would need a motion.
Oh,
I didn't make
He
a
didn't say he made a motion, he was asking. for a
okay,
motion.
so moved.
Support.
Motion by Terenzi, support by O'Donnell. Any discussion from council? Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Torenzi?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deanne Backus?
Yes.
Weaver?
Yes.
Mayor Calendino?
Motion carries. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Very reluctantly. Could barely get it out of my mouth. Yes, sir. We're not really,
I'm just gonna ask, are you going to allow permit out sales in buildings?
yes.
Yes.
All right, next on the agenda is the amendment to the City of Utica zoning ordinance for Pioneer Park. Do I have someone that's going to lead us through that tonight? Madam
I
Clerk?
can, that's really just clean up to add Pioneer Park, which we, recently installed to our ordinances to include that as a city park.
Yeah, just for paperwork purposes, right?
Right.
So we would be looking for a motion to approve the amendment to the City of Utica zoning ordinance, Chapter 50, Parks and Recreation, Article 2, Section 50-32, designated public parks.
So moved.
Motion by Terenzi,
Support.
support by O'Donnell. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Torenzi?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deanne Backus?
Yes.
Weaver?
Yes.
Mayor Calendino?
Yes, motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Next on the agenda is amendment to the City of Utica zoning ordinance for portable toilets.
So I'll give the background on this one too, and I'll try my best not to have any puns because. And I believe, and perhaps the mayor can help me, but there is or was a portable toilet by one of the schools that backed up to one of the residences, and the city's been receiving complaints about the vicinity next to its residence there. So I took a stab at a portable toilet ordinance at the mayor's indication that would require council approval for any portable toilet within the city. It's got some parameters in there as far as you have to be, I think I said 7 or 8 feet away from the parcel line. You have that in front of you. Was there anything else? 50 feet from any sort of water source, like a water stream or a lake, that's so you don't get, any fecal matter within the water stream. And was there a restriction in there? Oh, and right next to the structure, so you're not putting the portable potty right next to your building. And those were items that I found in a online resource of some U.S. portable toilets league about safety concerns. So, but those are random numbers from, my online research that I did. If you guys have different numbers you want to throw in there, that was just to put that in there to get this in front of you for your discussion.
And I know Chief Kaluzny did have some concerns about the first item, C-I, where it indicates no portable toilet shall be located in the front or side yards of a parcel.
So, Mayor and Council, as I was looking over the ordinance, the one thing that came to mind was that restriction and not putting it in the front or the side of the parcel. So, like we had the Lions Club here for the car show. If this ordinance went into place like that, we wouldn't be able to put the porta johns kind of in the area of the car show. They would have to be in the, rear of our parking lot or off to the side. Specifically, like what had started this ordinance over on the baseball fields over on Flickinger, according to the ordinance, it would have to go towards the rear of the school, so you're moving it actually away from where the ball fields are and where they were. So my look at it, I think it kind of restricts it a little too much if it's on the just side or rear of the
So I would
parcel.
suggest that we say that it cannot be placed in the side or rear of a residential lot. You don't want it on your front lawn. But when you're talking about a school or a church or something of that nature, I mean, I don't even know that you have a side or a front on some of those buildings, but.
We have a resident on Custer right now has a porta potty because they're doing major renovations on their home. And they have it pretty much on the front. It's not really obtrusive per se. I believe it might be 8 feet from the parcel line. I didn't get out and measure.
It is.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yep, Mr. Mayor and Council, that's my concern, is for construction purposes. If I'm having work done at my house, I don't want the porta pot in the backyard, plus the porta pot service has to be able to service it.
Right.
So for construction purposes, especially in the residential area, normally it goes in the front yard, maybe close to the house or to the side of the house possibly. You know, and then I know the other thing was did it say next to or not next to a building?
I read something from some national organization that said you should not have it right next to the house.
Okay. So in
And
construction
I don't know, I was
purposes,
checking around and I didn't get a firm answer on it, if the building, I don't know if the building code or construction code has anything to address the
nothing,
portable toilets.
no, nothing. I
Okay.
checked building, I checked
My
property
feelings are
maintenance.
not hurt if anybody wants to change any portion of that. I mean, I'm not an expert in portable toilets, so
So,
if you want to change
for
that,
construction
go ahead.
purposes, basically, like you said, on Custer, yes, it's in the front yard. It is roughly 8-9 feet off the property line. But that's construction purposes in a residential area.
Could
So
we
that
s-
would be the only thing I say.
Could we say, like, it must be in the back or side yard unless
I think
otherwise
I
specified?
think there would be, the problem is the company that services it, that drains it or cleans it,
Yeah,
would have a hard, on some backyards, depending on how the driveway's configured, if it was required to be in the backyard, they might not be able to.
Yeah, they're probably gonna have to drive their equipment.
Yeah, they have a hose.
Tear up their lawns and-
um,
I mean,
Also-
you still have the approval of the city council, and they're gonna have to bring
Yeah.
information. I'm just trying to provide parameters, so
Right.
there's some consistent application when people come. I mean, you certainly don't want the Little League being denied and AYSO being approved, you know?
right, yeah. Yeah, I was looking into, for section C, I guess, numeral 3, next to a structure on the premises. I looked into that as well. I think I saw probably what you said, but
What does next, we've got numbers for
yeah.
Roman numeral 4.
Yeah,
What does next mean, like not closer than 5 feet?
No, like up against, just like you're not allowed to have a shed up
So like
against a
maybe,
structure.
maybe we should say like 2 feet.
Or no, I would say against, touching or within, I mean, it's supposed to be right next to the structure.
I mean, I was actually, I couldn't find any reasoning for it. I think I saw what you said, but I think they just said it as an outline, or like a, guideline. I mean, from me, logically, wouldn't you want it closer to the building because it's out of sight from more angles?
Or I don't want that odor in the house.
But it's their house, right?
Right, but it's, right,
I
it's
just
their
know
house.
exactly why you don't want it next to your house.
Comment here. Those are highly flammable structures, and
Well-
Oh, great
if you've
point.
ever had a shed that we had up against the house, the whole house was engulfed.
Yeah.
Didn't even
So-
think about that. Never mind. Pass. But, oh yeah, to you, well, actually, what, sorry, go ahead. I was gonna say, do you have a recommendation on feet then?
Does the fire
I'd have to
code-
look at NFPA,
Okay.
so, but there might be something in there about that. Because we had a horrible fire, about 10 years ago, where shed was up against the house. Fires in the shed, we lost the whole house, so.
Oh, yeah, I bet, yeah.
So
And
under fire code, how close is too close then?
I'll have to look it up. I couldn't tell you right offhand, but we'll get that back to you.
So we could postpone this to the next meeting. We could pass as is and amend it. We could make changes and pass it. I mean, this was something to just put before everyone here to get the ball, rolling on this premise. And
It's a little awkward, because if we make a motion, then we have to amend them, in deliberation, we change. And then we amend the motion based on the changes? Would that be the proper Robert's Rules way of doing it?
No, I guess what I'm saying is you could adopt the motion, the ordinance today, and then after consideration, seeing how it's going, we could amend the ordinance at a later date. But yeah, there are ways to change a motion as well.
I think.
Just so we can deliberate, I'm gonna make a motion, just to get it on the floor so we can legally deliberate here. Motion to approve the amendment to City of Zoning Ordinance, Chapter 10, adding Section 10.7.
Says City of Zoning, is
So
that
moved.
zoning?
City of Utica, it says City of Utica zoning, which that means it has to go to,
Yeah, that would have to go
Public
through planning.
hearing
That
and
was
planning.
not intended to go into zoning. And chapter 10 is not zoning. Zoning is in appendix A.
okay.
Apologies for that.
Yeah, and it's on the AIS title, too. So let me correct my motion that we're probably going to be amending very shortly after I change it. Motion to approve amendment to City of Utica Ordinance, Chapter 10, adding Section 10.7.
So moved.
Support.
Motion by Terenzi, support by O'Donnell, and now we are open for deliberation. I'm going to get my input first. I think we just strike Roman numeral I about the front or side yards. I think that's maybe a little too restrictive.
So moved.
Well,
You
no,
already have a motion on the table.
we're deliberating.
Yeah, but you have, did you make a motion on the table and I was seconded, and then now we're having a motion?
We're not making,
Now we're
he's,
talking.
I think he just
This is
said
our-
he makes a
thi-
motion.
This is the sub motion, of course,
So,
right?
we're deliberating. I would suggest, and if we make any changes, I will amend my motion. But I would suggest that we strike item 1, which is front or side yards of parcel. I would suggest we increase the 8 feet to a bigger number,
I agree.
and that's open for deliberation. I would say 10 to 15
I was
feet.
saying 10, I was saying 10, but.
You would say 10?
I was thinking 10.
Well,
We
I'm
can
gonna
go 12.
tentatively pencil in 10, and we can continue deliberation. And next to a structure on the premises, as Chief Wilczek indicates, that could be a fire hazard if it's right against the structure.
Mr. Mayor, may I interject here?
Absolutely.
Keep in mind, if they're porta-johns, they're there for an X amount of time. It's not like it's gonna be there forever. So that's another thing to keep, you know, I mean.
Right. We might want to add, the permit is only good for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, whatever.
Right, right, and I was gonna suggest that, we put a time
What
frame.
would you suggest, 30 days? And then you have to get a new permit at the end of 30 days? What's typical?
Actually,
for-
for people that are using it for parties or whatever the case may be, it's only gonna be there for, let's say, a week.
I'm talking about people like our residents on Custer who are doing major renovations.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, baseball season runs from, April until, end of October.
Yeah, forever.
Well, let's go shorter than that.
Well, I was gonna ask our attorney, is there a problem with, if it's baseball season, it's X amount of days, whereas if it's a party at
Yeah,
a
you
residence,
can't.
can you decipher that or no? In the law?
That's like content, right? I mean, that's intended use. I don't think you can differentiate.
I mean, you could just make it a.
30 day.
30 days at a time, and
Yep.
baseball, whoever's gonna have to renew, you could give administration authority to renew up to X amount of times for, 30 days apiece.
My thought would be 15 days. I think,
I mean, we only meet once a month, so now you're gonna be asking someone to come before council every 15 days to renew a porta potty license.
well, if they give,
And we're already far more in depth than any other city on
okay,
portable toilets.
Well, could we do it administratively? I mean, if you're.
that's what I was gonna ask
Yeah,
next.
like you said, I
If we
mean,
do
if
it
you're approved
administratively,
once-
if Mayor, you're having a party at your house and you need a porta-john, and your party's gonna be for that day, you would have it there maybe 3 days.
Construction is already set up to be administratively, everything else is requiring,
Okay.
council approval, and that was, Shelby currently requires the ZBA to approve it, but our ZBA is our council.
Right.
But Shelby has a very, very basic ordinance on it.
I mean, we could do the 30 days like you suggested. I mean, if I'm having a house party, I'm not gonna want this thing sitting out there for 30 days if it's only gonna be used for a night or two.
But you will have it out longer for your sports.
Yes.
Mayor, NFPA does not have a standard, but they have specific standards for porta-john placement. OSHA and ANSA guidelines, along with accessibility requirements, influence how and when portable toilets are placed on construction sites and residences.
But nothing about proximity to a structure?
No, they have no. But I would advise against it, but.
Like for dumpsters, because of fire hazard, isn't it like 15 feet or something?
10 feet.
10 feet.
10 feet. Like any garage or anything has to be 10 feet from the home.
And that's
for fire hazard, right? Is that
Yes.
correct?
Let's do 10 feet.
Piggyback off that.
Yeah.
So instead of, it cannot be next to a structure, it should be, must be at least 10 feet from a structure.
Yes.
How do we feel about the distance from the parcel line?
I think
It's,
that should be increased too.
it's reading 8, you mentioned 10.
10.
Does anyone else have any other ideas on that? My concern is somebody with a small front yard, you know,
Like me.
I don't think that should be, 8 foot should be plenty, 8 and 10
you
most.
think 8 is fine?
I mean, it's quite a ways away from the next parcel. I don't think that would be encroaching on anybody.
I'm
Councilman
biased.
O'Donnell has
I'm-
ideas.
Well, I'm biased. I'm a germaphobe. I think 8 feet, it should be 80 feet, okay? I don't want it anywhere. Like, it's disgusting, get that away. I don't, it should be
My
banned.
front yard's 75 foot wide, so I couldn't have one.
Yeah, sounds great. So, then you know what, let's make it 76 feet is how far it has to be. No, maybe make it 10 feet, just because we're making everything else 10 feet and it's easy to remember.
Yeah.
10, 10, 10.
I agree.
So should I withdraw my motion? I would have to
You
do
can
I-
accept a friendly amendment to your motion, so long as, then I believe Councilman Terenzi was the second of your motion, as long as she accepts whatever those friendly amendments are.
All right, I would like to make a friendly amendment to my original motion, striking item C1, which is in the front or side yards of a parcel, changing item 2 to say within 10 feet of any parcel line, changing item 3 to say must be at least 10 feet from a structure on the premises. And that is it. So I'm looking for a motion with, asking you to accept my friendly motion with those changes.
I will. Are we getting married? Is that it?
I do.
I do.
Any further discussion?
Hopefully Pete's not watching at
Yeah,
home.
he doesn't watch.
Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Terenzi.
Yes.
O'Donnell.
Yes.
Deanne Backus.
Yes.
Weaver.
Yes.
Mayor Calendino.
Yes. Motion carries. Thank you, everyone. That was a tricky one.
All right, I got one more ordinance, I believe, right?
Yes. Next on the agenda is amendment to the City of Utica. It says zoning ordinance. It should say,
Yeah, that is not under zoning.
it should say ordinance.
I don't remember what chapter, does it say what chapter?
Yeah,
it is?
chapter, well, yeah.
46.
46?
Chapter four- Yeah, 46.
Article
not
4,
zoning.
Division 1.
Zoning falls under our appendix A, if you're ever looking for it in our codes. But the state law changed with regards to the hours that people can discharge fireworks. And so this really was a cut and paste from the state law to our city ordinance as to when somebody could actually discharge an ordinance. And then I would anticipate you're probably going to be seeing that other ordinance, which does fall under zoning at the next meeting. That's, Quayford Larry been drafted and sent out for review amongst people.
And if I could add a little bit of background, we get calls quite often, you know, as we get closer to 4th of July. Hey, city clerk, hey, mayor, there's people letting off fireworks when they shouldn't be. It's because our current city ordinance is much more restrictive than what the state allows. And then I think this opens it up.
More restrictive. I think this is more restrictive. As I recall, the old ordinance allowed fireworks on Christmas, if I
Yeah.
recall, and I think we don't allow that anymore under the state
But I think
law.
even the hours were a little bit different.
Yeah, the hours are different, but it literally was exactly what the state code said we could put in our, verbatim, put in our ordinance.
So we're looking for a motion to approve amendment to City of Utica Ordinance, Chapter 46, Article 4, Division 1, Section 46-142 as presented.
So moved.
Support.
Motion by Terenzi, support by Weaver. Any discussion from council?
Yes, I do have a question. For letter B, prohibitions, blah, 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 is maybe later amended. No one shall ignite, discharge, or use consumer fireworks after 11 a.m. I don't want people shooting off fireworks before 11 a.m.
But that's in the morning. So they start early in the morning.
Let's change it to before.
Oh, I see, I see. No one shall
Oh, no,
ignite
it's
or use
because
consumer
it's,
fireworks after.
it's because after 11 a.m. on December, so they are allowed throughout that evening.
Oh, I see. Okay, so it's that's like the I see what it means. It's like the
And then I will take an
range.
extra look at this, unless you want to just postpone this to put it with the next month's. Or if you give me a second, I can look up.
We'll give you a second.
I have another nitpick like that as well. For letter C, second sentence, at least $500, the fine shall be collected, a fine collected shall be remitted to the law enforcement agency responsible for enforcing the agency? Should it be action or, ordinance?
I literally cut and paste this from the,
That's what you get for trusting those state legislators, all right? You can't trust them, you know?
local ordinances.
You got the MC.
Following
That was
days
jokes. Oh, this is
after, this is what the
Well, that
problem
makes
is.
sense.
page.
After.
What is it telling me? Yeah, it's like,
I want to make some additional changes to this
Oh,
actually.
like
Can I bring this
89,
back
89.
next week with the other fireworks
Yeah.
ordinance?
So I think we need a friendly amendment
Just a
to,
motion to postpone to the next
a
meeting.
motion to postpone this till next month.
support?
Motion by Torenzi, support by O'Donnell. Any discussion?
And this-
Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Torenzi?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deanne, Backus?
Yes.
Weaver?
Yes.
Mayor Calendino?
Yes, motion carries. Wow, we got through the hard stuff. See what you're missing,
If I
Ken?
could just answer the one part about C to Councilman O'Donnell,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
is mandated by state law.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, next on the agenda is department reports. I will kick things off. Very happy to make the recommendation to appoint Councilwoman Faith Torenzi to Mayor Pro Tem. You know, recently Ken Sikora moved out of the city and was required to resign his position. So I'd be looking for a motion to appoint Councilwoman Faith Torenzi to Mayor Pro Tem.
So moved.
Motion by O'Donnell.
Support.
Support by Backus. Any discussion from council? Madam Clerk, roll call vote.
Torenzi?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deanne, Backus?
Yes.
Weaver?
Yes.
Mayor Calendino?
Yes, motion carries. Congratulations.
Okay, thank you.
I think we have to, yeah, it's not accurate anymore, so.
I'm just gonna say thank you, and I'll do my best. I have big shoes to fill, big shoes to fill.
Huge.
I'm sure you're gonna do
But-
fantastic.
Well, I've lived in this city for almost 50 years now, so.
Well, Mayor Pro Tem Sikora's departure caused yet another disruption that we must recover from. Per the city charter, vacancies on council shall be filled by nomination for appointment by the mayor and confirmation by the common council, as in all other appointed offices, and such appointees shall hold office until the next regular election, at which such office is to be filled under the provisions of this charter. I would like to make a motion to approve the nomination for appointment of Joel DeVrint for council, term to expire 12/31/2026.
So moved.
Motion by Torenzi, support by Weaver. Any discussion from council? Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Torenzi?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deanne, Backus?
Yes.
Weaver?
Yes.
Mayor Calendino?
Yes, motion carries. I'm a little embarrassed to say I had to call Joel this weekend, and I said, I'm going to be saying your name a few times Tuesday night. Can you tell me how to pronounce it? Did I get it right?
Two simple syllables.
Perfect, perfect.
How is it?
Congratulations.
Different.
Different.
Yeah. You cut a few extra letters out of there.
Thank you, everybody. And my last item is another appointment. Former councilman and current Utica fireman Mike Ryan has requested appointment to the City of Utica Municipal Building Authority. So I'm looking for a motion to appoint Mike Ryan to the City of Utica Municipal Building Authority.
So moved.
Motion by O'Donnell, support by Terenzi. Any discussion from council?
No.
Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Torenzi.
Yes.
O'Donnell.
Yes.
Deanne. Backus.
Yes.
Weaver.
Yes.
Mayor Calendino.
Yes, motion carries. Thank you, everybody. Does anyone else on council have anything to report tonight?
Should I do library during library? Ms. Francis isn't here. Okay. Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome.
I do have something to say. Last month, the American Cancer Society was here asking us all to do something for the Relay for Life. And while I was here, I had mentioned to her that I was a survivor. And so I'm going to be the speaker for the survivors at the Relay for Life next Saturday.
Wow.
So say a prayer for me.
What time? That's because that's like
It
an
is-
all-day event.
It is an all-day event, but it kicks off,
I think
Mayor
at
goes
11.
first. Yeah, at 11, and
I
then
think it's at 1.
it's at 11. So at 11, at Riverbends. So, I'm a survivor for 27 years, if anybody wants to know.
Congratulations.
Thank you, yeah.
I'm glad they convinced you. I'm glad you, or pardon me, I'm glad you
heard
agreed.
me like,
Yeah, you're kind of on the fence, but I think it's actually a really great story, Faith. I mean, it really, it's fantastic.
I cried
You
when I
are
was saying it.
fantastic. You are fantastic, Faith.
God bless you.
Seriously.
Do we have anything from planning tonight? Nothing from planning tonight. Nothing from assessing. Mr. Hicks, anything for us?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, council, basically this goes out to the public. Everybody knows that it rains and your grass grows, all right? So the residents need to know they need to cut their grass, all right? I will be coming to council with a change in our ordinance to change right now, the way it stands, if they don't cut their grass, then DPW goes out there. DPW doesn't have the manpower to go out and cut these lawns. So hopefully, today alone, I was out there and wrote 28 violations for grass. The other thing is I want to let the residents and business people know that dandelions, you know, you drive down the subdivisions and there's dandelions everywhere. Well, those are a noxious weed. And per our property maintenance code, which all cities adopt, they have to be treated as well. So when you cut your grass, the first thing that grows is the dandelions. So when you're out there, you need to treat for your dandelions and you need to cut your grass on a weekly basis. If you're not gonna cut it or you're gonna be out of town, then make arrangements for somebody to cut it because we are out there and we are gonna nail you. So please, cut your grass. That's all I got.
Thank you, Mr. Hicks. Councilman O'Donnell, report from library.
Director Francis is not here, so I am going to give our library update, which is summer reading program. We're excited to announce that this year's grand prizes for our summer reading program all come from right here in Utica, which I was pretty impressed by. Thanks to a generous donation from the Michigan Schools and Government Credit Union, we're able to highlight and support amazing local businesses. I like how she wrote this. This is lovely. Some of our featured grand prizes include free group or family game play at Activate Utica, which I have yet to go to, but looks pretty cool. Dave & Buster's play cards, and listen to this, annual membership passes to the Legacy Aquarium.
Wow.
Yeah. Additional prizes, free pizzas from Sorrento's, free ice cream from Dairy Queen, tickets to Jimmy John's Field. Here's your dates, everybody. Are you ready? Registration for the summer reading program begins Monday, June 2nd. We're having a kickoff party, June 14th at 2. You will, at that kickoff party, enjoy a petting farm, bounce house, and games. I personally will not be on the bounce house. I will throw up. And then, don't start reading this summer until Monday, June 16th. Wait, that's not how it works. Yeah, Monday, June 16th is when it actually officially starts. So registration on June 2nd, kickoff party June 14th, and then June 16th it starts.
How long does it go?
It goes until, I believe it's, great question. I want to say 6 weeks, but I might be wrong. I'll have to look it up.
Okay, thanks.
Great.
Okay.
Anything else, Councilman O'Donnell?
Nothing from me, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Chief Wilczek, report
Yes,
from fire.
Mayor and Council, we had an unfortunate incident happen to us. We had a compartment door open up, and we lost our fire department PPV fan off our engine one, and we went to return to try to find it, and apparently somebody stole it. So I'm here before you tonight to authorize a replacement from R&R Truck Repair for the cost sum of $5,100. The city filed a claim with the insurance carrier and received $4,600 in insurance proceeds. Our deductible is $500. So I have a motion to amend the general fund fire department budget, increasing it by $4,600. Account number 101-336-698-000. And the insurance recovery and increasing by $5,100 to the account of 101-336-981-000, equipment purchase.
So Chief is looking for that motion.
I have a question. How does a fan, a $5,000 fan?
The compartment
fall
door
off of
opened
the
up.
truck? I mean, this is, since I heard about it, my mind, it's like I can't wrap my arms around it. And I spoke to Assistant Chief Plant last month, and he explained to me that the fan wasn't properly secured. But how do you lose a fan? Wouldn't you hear it when the door slipped open and it falls out? I mean, this is
No.
a $5,000 piece of equipment. And for every insurance claim we have, our insurance goes up and that costs our taxpayers more money. It's like, I just can't get my arms wrapped around this one. It's like,
I don't know how to answer that. I seriously don't. Randy Plant, the assistant chief, was on this run, and he counseled the people that left there, but the door apparently wasn't latched properly, and it opened up while responding.
and
then-
it said that it was a 30-year veteran who was driving the truck. It's like, come on, if you're a 30-year veteran, don't you check these things? I'm sorry, I don't get it. I don't get
Well,
it.
you wouldn't hear it fall. I'm going to tell you that right now if you've ever ridden in one of our trucks. They're
Okay.
not like a Cadillac.
Okay,
So,
They make a lot of noise.
yeah.
okay, that's fair.
Then you have the siren and everything else going.
So
Because they
was
were,
that in response to
they
a
were
fight?
responding to a run.
Okay. So did they go knocking door to door saying, hey, I mean, really, what did they do to recover this?
They returned back to the route that they took, and it was missing. So apparently somebody picked it up. It's got Utica Fire written all over it, so somebody knew that they picked the fan up. So,
Did,
I understand your frustration on this, Councilman Terenzi. Believe me, when I found out about it, I was upset. $5,000. I found out about it when the insurance claim was getting ready to be submitted from the city clerk. Needless to say, I was upset. I reached out to chief and assistant chief. I said, why were we not made aware of this? What remedial action was taking place? And, was there any disciplinary action involved? Instantly, so I know it all happened, instantly, chief forwarded me the incident report, the counseling memorandum, and as unhappy as I was that we lost a $5,000 piece of equipment, and we're gonna have to file a claim
and potentially raise our insurance rates. I was satisfied that chief and assistant chief took the proper remedial action on it. I also hope this never happens again,
Me too, we can't afford it.
for sure.
Wow.
So I believe we're still looking for that motion.
Well, if we want to get a new fan.
Yeah.
We have to approve the motion, so moved.
Support.
Motion by Terenzi, support by O'Donnell. Any further discussion?
Could we consider putting, because they're down to like $35 each, RFID tags on some of our more pricey equipment?
He said that it was on there.
No, he said
I
it was
mean-
just labeled, it was just stenciled, right?
Yeah.
You didn't have
These-
an RFID tag.
These RFID things, I mean, like Apple made a big stink that they sent one to North Korea, and it was accurately picking up where the thing was, right? So,
My wife
I
loses
mean-
her iPhone weekly, maybe daily, and she puts some kind of Apple tag, I think it's called, and she finds it very quickly every time she loses it.
yeah,
So
just
it's not a bad
suggestion.
idea.
Yeah, just suggestion. I mean,
Is there software, there's gotta be some kind of software associated with that?
yeah, almost
About
certainly.
$20 a tag.
Yeah. It's like $20 a tag, and then it's, yeah, you associate it with whatever account. Now, this is Apple that I'm thinking of right now, right?
Right,
So
right.
associated with the
I don't know
account.
if Apple allows for business purposes.
Yeah, see, I
either.
don't-
There'd be
right.
some investigating to do on it.
Yeah.
Can we look into that, chief?
Sure. I'm not a tech guy, though, so.
But you got that guy's working for you.
Right.
I'm sure Councilman O'Donnell will answer any questions you might
I
have.
would love, yeah, let me write it down, sure.
And maybe, Councilman O'Donnell, maybe we can follow up on that discussion next council meeting and see how the research went and if they have any questions for him.
Absolutely.
I've been here since 2008, and this is the first thing we've ever lost off a truck, so it's not like it happens every day.
Yeah, it's, for me.
But I mean, two things had
there's-
to happen, right? It had to have
The
not been
fan was
strapped
not,
down.
the fan was
Right.
not strapped, there's a strap inside the compartment, and the compartment door apparently wasn't closed all the way, and it opened up while they were responding, because they're roll-up doors.
Oh, I don't
But
think
they-
those are the two things that had to happen at all. I think there had to be the human error that came with, the fire department, whatever. But the other half is that whoever saw it had to see that it had Utica Fire branding all over it and take it anyway, right? So that's what this would solve is
They may not
the
realize it's a
criminal element.
$5,000 piece of equipment either. They might have thought
Fair
that they
enough,
got
yeah.
some fun little.
Right, like, oh, cool,
It's big.
$300
It's
fan,
big.
wow, and it turns out
It's a PPV fan for evacuating the buildings.
All right.
Yeah.
So we have a motion and a second, is that correct? Any further discussion? Madam Clerk, roll call vote.
Torenzi?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
yes.
Deanne Backus?
Yes.
Weaver?
Yes.
Mayor Calendino?
Yes, motion carries. The second motion is to approve purchase of PPV fan from R&R Fire Truck Repair, Inc. for the sum of $5,100 to be charged to account 101-336-981-000, equipment purchase.
So moved.
Support.
Motion by Terenzi, support by O'Donnell. Any discussion from council? Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Torenzi?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deanne Backus?
Yes.
Weaver?
Yes.
Mayor Calendino?
Yes, motion carries. Anything else to report tonight, Chief?
No, that'll be it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Chief Klusny.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. First item I'm going to start with is what I'm most excited about, and that's our mobile vehicle barrier system grant. Back in March, if you remember, I came to council with a grant that we received from Nate Shannon's office as he was on the way out the door. The city received $200,000 from the state of Michigan to purchase a mobile vehicle barrier system with zero out-of-pocket cost for the city. So it's a great win-win for our city. At the Lucky Leprechaun race, we were able to have two different vendors of systems come, and I know Mayor Pro Tem Terenzi, Mayor Calendino, and Councilman Weaver were out there and got to see the two different designs. And between, I know, my discussions with them and also discussions with the officers, we made a determination that there was one vendor that really stood out that we wanted to invest this money in, and that's Meridian Barrier. Now, in looking at that company, there is only one company that builds that design. So it's not like I can get 3 different quotes from different companies to be able to comparison on cost for an apples-to-apples basis. So I reached out to the state grant department and requested what's called a sole source approval. So essentially, just being able to purchase from one vendor, not having 3 multiple bids to compare to. So they said they granted that approval as long as it complies with our city's purchase policy. So I'm just advising the council that, you know, my request is gonna be based on just looking at the meridian barriers, because there is no other similar designed thing. So I'll be looking for request approval to purchase a meridian barrier system. And if you look through the quote, there's a number of items. We're actually getting 18 of the mobile vehicle barriers. We're getting a trailer, and we're also getting the rapid gate. So if you've seen it out there, it was a great design, something actually I didn't think that we needed until I seen it out there. Works great to be able to deploy. Mr. Diamond over here has graciously offered all the space that he has at DPW to store our barriers and stuff for him, so I appreciate that. But I really think it's a great addition. And if you look through the packet, there's also the color design. The mayor supplied the logo, and they're gonna be designed in traffic green, and then it has the City of Utica logo on there that's in reflective tape. So I think it's really gonna be a sharp design, and it's gonna look great out there. So I'd be looking to request a motion to purchase a Meridian Archer mobile vehicle barrier system from the quote that's QUO 11650 for an amount not to exceed $200,000 from equipment purchase GL 101-301-981-000.
So moved.
Motion by Terenzi, support by Backus. Any discussion from council? Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Torenzi?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deanne Backus?
Yes.
Weaver?
Yes.
Mayor Calendino?
Yes, motion carries.
All right, thank you. Next item I have is a budget amendment for our police fiscal year 2024, 2025, and that's for our FBI task force. We currently have one officer that's temporarily assigned to the FBI Violent Task Force, and this is in a part-time basis. The FBI will reimburse the overtime expenses, so if he's working for them in an overtime capacity where he's not on the clock here at the city of Utica, they will actually reimburse his expenses for the cost that he's out there. So, in putting the budget together, we didn't have these GLs. The treasurer we had put these together after the budget, so I'm looking just to clean up the budget that we have, and so the money coming in kind of gets offset. So the overtime that we pay out to this officer is gonna be, it gets reimbursed back from the federal government to kind of offset there. So I'd be.
Is it gonna be within the same budget year? Or is it gonna be like,
Yes. So every budget year and on the future budget, I had already planned
Okay.
the dollar amounts. This is just to clean up this year's budget for items that we didn't have the line items on there. So I'd be looking to request a motion to amend the Revenue FBI Task Force 101-301-505-000-FBI TFU by $3,000, and the expenditure overtime FBI Task Force 101-301-709-001 by $250, and the overtime federal grants 101-301-709-001-FBI TFU by $2,750. That's a lot.
So Chief's looking for that motion?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Terenzi,
Support.
support by O'Donnell. Any discussion from council? Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Torenzi?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deanne Backus?
Yes.
Weaver?
Yes.
Mayor Calendino?
Yes, motion carries.
And second motion in there, and that's to request motion to amend the FICA 101-301-715-000-FBI TFU by $300.
So moved.
Support.
Motion by Terenzi, support by O'Donnell. Any discussion from council? Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Torenzi?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deanne Backus?
Yes.
Weaver?
Yes.
Mayor Calendino?
Yes, motion carries. I was being counseled by our city attorney. And your next item, Chief?
Next one is a department computer upgrade. Currently, the computers that the officers use to write reports, to process information and stuff, they are not what's called Windows 11 compliant, which means starting October 2025, Windows has ended all support for the security, for the patches, for stuff like that. Due to the sensitive nature of police work, our access to lien, everything like that, we have to ensure that our system's protected from any type of malware, any type of hacks into the system. This was something that I had planned for the budget, so it was included in my budget. I'm just seeking approval to purchase it. In reaching out to our IT vendor, SPS, Simplified Business Solutions, they kind of provided a quote, and it's looking at 7 Dell Optiplex computers, 9 Dell 24-inch monitors, 7 sound bars for a total amount of $8,515.60. And they estimate installation to cost $2,205 for a total amount of $10,720.60. And I compared these quotes through Dell looking at the My Deal and also Dell on the consumer end. And I was able to get simplified to lower it a little. I think the My Deal is maybe about $5 cheaper. The good thing is having it all go through SBS. The stuff gets shipped to him. He can kind of pre-start, get things loaded in, and then come and get it all taken care of. So it's all nice, it's clean, and it's done by our IT company to get the transition nice and smooth. So I'd be requesting a motion to purchase the 7 Dell Optiplex, 9 Dell 24-inch monitors, 7 soundbars through Simplified Business Solutions for amount of $8,515.60 from Office Equipment GL 101-301-980-000.
So moved.
Motion by Torenzi.
Support.
Support by Weaver. Any discussion from council? Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Torenzi.
Yes.
O'Donnell.
Yes.
Deanne. Backus.
Yes.
Weaver.
Yes.
Mayor Calendino.
Yes, motion carries.
And my next motion is I'd be requesting a motion for installation costs from Simplified Business Solutions for an amount not to exceed $2,500 from IT Services GL 101-301-850-010.
So moved.
Motion by Torenzi,
Support.
support by Backus. Any discussion from council? Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Torenzi.
Yes.
O'Donnell.
Yes.
Deanne. Backus.
Yes.
Weaver.
Yes.
Mayor Calendino.
Yes, motion carries.
All right, and my last motion here, and this is just to balance the budget, to move the money from my office equipment to cover the installation costs. So I'd be requesting a budget reallocation of $2,500 from the office equipment GL, that's 101-301-980-000, and move that to IT services GL 101-301-850-010.
So moved.
Motion by Weaver,
Support.
support by Torenzi. Any discussion from council? Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Torenzi.
Yes.
O'Donnell.
Yes.
Deanne. Backus.
Yes.
Weaver.
Yes.
Mayor Calendino.
Yes, motion carries. And your next item, Chief.
And the last agenda item summary I have, and this is a budget reallocation and an amendment to the police fiscal year '25 budget. And this is in talks with the treasurer. What we're looking at, our 911 recorder, which is our Equiture system, this is something that's budgeted for. This is, as phone calls come in, they're recorded on the police side, so we can replay them from there. So that portion was budgeted for. And talking with the treasurer, to follow proper accounting standards, we have to differentiate the money for the equipment versus the money for the service charge. So we're just kind of reallocating money from one end to the other. My account, the equipment maintenance account, does have a shortage of $283 because early in the year, we had a substantial repair done on our dispatch console. So there is a slight shortage in there. I'd be looking to request a motion to amend the fiscal year '25 police budget. That's our equipment maintenance, GL 101-301-931-000, and just decrease the remaining balance down to $3,590 and increase our notes payable 101-301-991-100 by $2,390. So I'm lessening one and bringing up that notes payable to try and split the money between those two GLs.
So moved.
Support.
Motion by Terenzi, support by O'Donnell. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Torenzi?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deanne? Backus?
Yes.
Weaver?
Yes.
Mayor Calendino?
Yes, motion carries. Anything else to report tonight, Chief?
I just like to put this out because we're starting to get increased calls of speeding in the subdivision. As the weather started to turn and with the increased traffic that we're having on M53, calls have come out. So as a resident, please be mindful of your neighbors and be mindful of the speed limits out there, running the stop signs. We are going to start rotating our mobile sign out there and also increasing patrols. But I just ask that, be mindful of your neighbors. There's kids out there, people on bikes, stuff like that. So we are seeing a large uptick of traffic complaints and stuff in the subdivision.
Thank you, Chief. Superintendent Diamond.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. First off, congratulations, Councilwoman Faith and new Councilman Joel for your appointments. I have two things on the agenda. The first one being Ford Garage purchased a new 2-inch water meter. As you can see in the attachments, it was already paid for. I just need a motion for council to approve the fiscal year 25 592 water and sewer budget amendment, increasing both the revenue 592,000,629,020 and the expenditure 592,536,740,110 by the amount of the payment received of $2,341.63.
So moved.
Support.
Motion by O'Donnell, support by Terenzi. Any discussion from council? Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Torenzi?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deanne? Backus?
Yes.
Weaver?
Yes.
Mayor Calendino?
Yes, motion carries.
Thank you. The second agenda item is for the Iron Bell Trail Bridge Project. MEDC funding was approved for the engineering of the Iron Bell Trail Bridge Project. Council approved HRC to outlay the preliminary cost estimates, which total $263,000 for design and construction engineering. I recommend that HRC is given the approval to begin design engineering. So I am looking for a motion for council to approve HRC to begin the design engineering for the Iron Bell Trail Bridge Project 202-50166.
So moved.
Motion by Terenzi,
Support.
support by Weaver. Any discussion from council? Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Torenzi?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deanne? Backus?
Yes.
Weaver?
Yes.
Mayor Calendino?
Yes, motion carries.
Thank you. Along with that, then I will need a motion for City Council to amend fiscal year 25 Street Department budget, increasing both revenue source, other grants, MEDC 397210, and expenditure engineering 101-441-821-000-3921210 in the amount of $263,000.
So moved.
Motion by Terenzi,
Support.
support by O'Donnell. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Torenzi?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deanne? Backus?
Yes.
Weaver?
Yes.
Mayor Calendino?
Yes, motion carries.
When is
Thank
that
you.
expected to start?
Well, I will let HRC know that they can start designing tomorrow morning, so hopefully soon. Obviously, we're hoping that this gets underway before fiscal year 20, during this fiscal year. That's why I spoke with the treasurer, agreed to put the entire amount in now. We'll have to make an amendment next year to transfer whatever is not being used into fiscal year 26.
So are we looking for the Davis Street Bridge to be closed down for most of the summer?
No, I don't think we'll get to that point yet. It'll probably be late fall before we see any really type of movement, but we'll get it has to go out for bid. There's a lot of the steps to get up into
Okay.
before it,
Perfect.
but now we can get the ball rolling.
Perfect. I can go to music in the park by just walking through
Yes.
this then.
Yeah.
You should be fine this summer.
This summer you should be fine. Just a couple things tonight, a couple things that my other department head spoke on. With the grass and Jerry saying that the DPW has the manpower for the grass, but it's the way the ordinance is written right now that I believe it's 3 days, correct? So 3 days is a tough turnaround for us to come around and make sure we get it on our schedule. So that's why the ordinance, we're gonna look into about amending that. If we put in tags and saying that the DPW is gonna cut it in 3 days, I can't promise that we'll be there in 3 days, because we have 3 days, we have a week lined up already. So we're looking to change that to help out maybe the residents a little bit, and also to help us out. And then building department and DPW, we're trying to work together on that to make it make sense for both of us. And the other one is my fellow comrade over here to my left about the trailer. We are going to be able to store it. We do need to move some stuff around. I haven't figured how that is going to be aligned, but obviously with the price of this trailer and what's in it and the use it is for the city, we will get it in somewhere in our garage. But I wish I had the space that he says that outdoor space, yes. Indoor space, not as much. Good news is tomorrow I'm meeting with authorities from MDOT and Conrail about the removal of the train tracks on Auburn. It took a while to find out the right person, but I was able to get the submission requirements, and along with Chief helping me out with the traffic control, the traffic summary, we were able to get all the paperwork and documents we needed. So tomorrow at 10:30. Council, if you're available, you want to stop by and listen to the discussion, we're going to be right there on the tracks for it. It's supposed to be 10:30 to 11:30. I did let the mayor know and Chief as well.
If there's more than 3 of us, we can't speak, though.
Oh, yeah.
Open Meetings Act.
Can't deliberate.
We can't deliberate.
So that's all good news. Another big thing that we have is our lead service lines. We have 27 replaced out of the 130 that are in our contract. Which, while 27 is nice, it's a nice number, we are having issues with residents getting back with HRC to get on the schedule. So I'm working with HRC to get us a map of the addresses that they have not responded, and we are going to be going door to door. I know city clerk gets some phone calls, we get some phone calls, but I think people are afraid that, they're afraid to ask the right questions instead of just let's call and get this scheduled. The lead service line replacements is the no cost to the resident itself. And obviously, it is a state mandated, but it's something that obviously we want to deliver the best quality of water that we can with these service lines. So if you're out and you have questions, please tell our residents to contact HRC. If they need another letter, please have them call city clerk or call the DPW, and we will definitely get a new letter out to them so they can follow the right guidelines to get on the schedule. And the last thing I have is that we've been out patching. Potholes are, popping up, and especially with this rain right now, they're popping up all over the place. So we have slowly been getting through the neighborhoods. Some of them we're already back around again. Our entrances off of M59 and along Auburn were pretty rough, so we are working on that. So, but that's all I have for tonight. And I think I spoke less than the chief today. Just wanted to put that out there.
Thank you, Superintendent Diamond.
Mr. Diamond, do you happen to know which ordinance you're concerned about
For
the length of
the grass.
and
I think it said, I believe it states right now is that once it's tagged, they have 72 hours to cut it, and then DPW will come by and cut it.
Because I'm thinking that's probably a minimum that they're given 72 hours to cut it. And
Okay.
then you can do it anytime thereafter. That's what I'm trying to check.
Okay.
If you have that number back at the office where you're seeing that.
I think it was just on a phone call when Jerry and I spoke earlier, so maybe I'm misunderstanding, but I believe 72 hours was in it.
Yeah, that sticker you put on the doors, it says right on there, I think it is.
Well, we put a week on our, when we put it.
It's in the wording
Oh, okay.
on there.
Well,
you
is
guys
it that
fill in.
we have to come within 72 hours to mow your lawn, or you have 72 hours and then we will mow your
I
lawn?
believe they have 72 hours and then we will cut it.
Okay, so, I mean, that doesn't mean you have to do it within
Right.
72 hours.
What about having a backup? Do we charge for that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, what about having a backup, like one of the small lawn guys in the area?
I wouldn't want to get into that because then, we're going to be paying their fees as well. I mean, honestly, last year, we didn't have one. And this will be my third summer here. I didn't have any in my first summer. I came in halfway through and did not have any last summer at all. Normally, May is a tough one because a lot of cities do the no mow May. We don't have, Utica hasn't said that we would go with no mow May, and we haven't said that we haven't go with no mow May. So there are some residents that, like to adhere to no mow May. It obviously helps with pollinations and everything. So
Okay, for the record, we are not participating in no mow May.
I just don't believe there's an ordinance or anything that said is what I meant.
Right.
There are cities that actually went out and made an ordinance saying that they weren't for they were against it. So
I'm surrounded by dandelions.
right.
I don't have any. I'm surrounded.
You're gonna get them. The wind blows.
Did you hear that, Jerry? River Vista.
River Vista. Not the north, not
The whole city with
the east end, not the west end.
That's terrible this year.
Was that it? Superintendent Diamond, anything else? Thank you, sir. Next on the agenda, I believe our treasurer has an item. He gets to take a break from operating our cable equipment.
Mayor and council, we have a Utica Lions annual pancake breakfast.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Seriously now, you have before you a request from me to transfer the balance that is in the assigned fund balance for capital improvements to the committed fund balance for capital improvements. Back in April of 2021, the City Council created the assigned fund balance for capital improvements for the purpose of assigning the proceeds from the dissolution of the Downtown Development Authority. The council authorized funding of the Grant Park Walking Trail and the Cass Auburn reconstruction out of that assigned fund balance. At the November 2023 council meeting, the council adopted the fund balance policy and created a committed fund balance for capital improvements. So it seems to me that we should just consolidate the two and move the $193,297.13 from assigned fund balance into the committed fund balance and clean up our balance sheet. So I'm looking for a, I thought I had submitted a resolution, and I didn't bring it with me, sorry. Thank you, clerk.
It is in the packet.
So in the packet, you have a resolution that, in effect, City Council hereby commits for the purpose of capital improvements the amount of $193,297 and 13/100ths of a dollar to be transferred from the general fund to Fund 101, assigned fund balance for capital improvements, to the general fund committed fund balance for capital improvements.
So moved.
Motion by Terenzi,
Support.
support by O'Donnell. Any discussion from council?
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, a roll call vote, please.
Terenzi?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deanne? Backus?
Yes.
Weaver?
Yes.
Mayor Calendino?
Yes, motion carries. Thank you, Phil. Anything
Thank
else
you.
to report tonight?
Nothing further tonight, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
How much money do we have in that balance now? Do you know off the top of your head?
In the
Committed.
committed fund balance, in excess of $2 million,
About 2 million, maybe?
yes.
A little bit more. Madam Clerk, report from administration.
Mayor and council, I don't have anything to speak on.
And nothing from Parks and Rec or Historic. Ms. McGrail.
We did have on here the QLC tentative agreement. Mr. Paternoster did bring to our attention. I believe I saw emails that council is required to have, what, 7 days to review the
The
actuarial?
pension board,
um,
the end council.
The end council.
Yeah.
So I believe, has that been sent out already, or it's about to be sent out?
Yeah.
So we're just asking for a motion to postpone the tentative agreement to the next meeting, to give you time to review the actuarial information, and then you will have the tentative agreement to review at the next meeting.
So a motion to postpone this item until June 10th.
So moved.
Motion by O'Donnell, support by Terenzi. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Terenzi?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deanne, Backus?
Yes.
Weaver?
Yes.
Mayor Calendino?
Yes, motion carries. Thank you. Next on the agenda is communication from the public. Anyone that would like to speak to council, you have 3 minutes.
Summer reading ends July 20th.
July 20th.
Yes, July. So it starts the June 10th, ends July 20th. 6 weeks, I was right.
All right, thank you. All right, I would be looking for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by O'Donnell,
Support.
support by Terenzi. Any discussion from council? Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Terenzi? Terenzi?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Yes.
Deanne, Backus?
Yes.
Weaver?
Yes.
Mayor Calendino?
Yes, motion carries. We are adjourned.